The dictionary meaning of porphyria is that it is a kind of disease which causes damage in the blood and thereby affecting the nervous system, growing pale. So the poem in a way symbolizes a person suffering from this disease and growing unnaturally fond of its effect on him. Browning addresses the complicated relationship between morality and aesthetics, conflicts between materialism and spirituality, and the difference between the intellectual class of people versus the common majority. In this poem, we find two people in love who appears to be from the totally opposite side of the world. The speaker is a poor commoner who is in love with Porphyria, belonging to the high elite society. The materialistic section of people, they knew that society would never accept their relationship. Society would never accept their love, their union. Society would never allow them to live together in peace. So the speaker chooses the afterlife for them. Violence, passion, and ethical problems are issues that play a significant role in Porphyria's lover. Robert Browning is known for his dramatic monologues that deals with psychopathical mentality. The lover or speaker seems to be psychologically unstable because who else can kill someone you dearly love? He says Porphyria felt no pain and he dares to look her in the eyes and kiss her and sit still with the dead body of Porphyria as though he has done nothing wrong. Porphyria's Lover by Robert Browning. It is a dramatic monologue where the speaker narrates the happening of a particular night. And while the speaker is narrating this event, he is sitting with his dead beloved. It was raining that night and a strong wind was blowing, breaking the elm trees at the top. The howling wind seems to try its best to disturb the calm lake, and the speaker was sitting all alone in his cottage. Narrating what happened that very night, he says that it was a stormy night and the door opened and Porphyria walked in and closed the door behind her, and she knelt down and lighted up the fire in the fireplace beside the speaker, and the whole room lit up. The room soon became warm, and she rose and took off her wet, dripping cloak and shawl, took off her glove, took off her hat, and loosened her hair, untied her hair, and sat beside him and called him by his name. But the speaker did not respond, so she just took his hand and placed it around her waist. She placed his head on her shoulder, on her bare, white, smooth shoulder, her yellow hair flowing over his head. And as she did so, she whispered how much she loved him. She was not supposed to be with him. Her relationship was not acceptable to the society that she belonged to, but she was too weak not to follow her heart. This passionate love for the speaker would hurt her pride, or maybe hurt the pride of her family. She seemed to have come to the speaker, to her beloved, running away from some social affairs, some social gathering of her family and her class people, which the speaker defines as a life of false pride and an exaggerated sense of self-importance, artificial kind of group or society. She had come to give herself completely to her beloved. So maybe they made plans to elope or be together forever, or maybe the speaker planned to take their lives. He says that even the grand feast of that night in her place could not resist her from coming to meet her beloved. Her beloved, the speaker, who was so pale and sick, in love with her, so she struggled and fought through the stormy nights to come and be together with her beloved. For once he looked into her eyes. They were happy and proud to be with him. This made him realize that Porphyria worshipped him and adored him. So there was a debate in his mind whether or not to act upon what he was thinking, whether or not he should do what he was planning to do. He had mentally planned everything beforehand, but when she saw her and her beautiful eyes, his heart melted and he could not decide if he should actually do it, what he wanted to do. He knew that he possessed Porphyria for that moment and should decide quickly what he wanted to do. because in the next moment she might not be with him. She might belong to somebody else. Finally, he stood firm in his decision and he took her bright yellow hair, making it into a long yellow string, and simply wound it around Porphyria's neck 3 times and strangled her, resulting in her death. And he says she felt no pain. He was sure that she felt no pain. So was he quick or was she submissive? Her eyes were shut like a flower bud that holds a bee. He calmly opened her eyelids, and her blue eyes seemed to be laughing without any stain. There were no stains in her eyes. This could mean that she did not fight back or struggle at all. Feeling satisfied, he untied the hair from her neck, and this time he laid her head over his shoulder and he kissed her. And in his eyes, her cheeks seemed to be blushing. He felt that she too was satisfied. He put her drooping head over his shoulder and sat still like nothing ever happened. He says that her head was a smiling, rosy little head, happy and contented that her utmost will was finally achieved, and he in return gained her love wholly for himself, gained Porphyria's love forever. He also said that she would have never guessed how her heart's utmost will, greatest will, would be accomplished. He says, and so we sit here together now, and all night long we did not move. All these things happened last night, and still God did not say a word, which means God did not pass any kind of judgment, whether it was justifiable or not. That brings us to the end of this explanation. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.